It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. It's because he's trying to avoid talking about this movie. You like really don't like this movie.
I don't enjoy scary things. Scary things scare me, as they are intended to do.
You know, he didn't even want to go to Fright Fest when I was performing at Six Flags.
No, but I did. But no, I didn't. But I knew you'd be there for Christmas time, and guess who was there?
No, that's fine.
Guess who saw you dancing in that turtleneck?
Oh God, I'm not even proud. I'm not.
I thought it was good.
Okay, stop trying to distract me. We're going to talk about this movie.
Well, we are talking about this movie.
This is not relevant to the movie whatsoever.
This movie takes place in December.
Oh, was it Christmas time during this movie? No, yeah, you're fucking with me. Have you always had a fear of like dolls, scary dolls? Like the first time you went to my doll room, were you like, what the fuck?
I think the first time anybody goes into your doll room, their jaw falls onto the floor because it's an obscene amount of dolls.
I'm going to give some context to any new listeners. It's not my doll room. My mother has a doll room in this house that I live in. And
so I just want to say this, though. What? In this film, there is a point when she is like putting Annabelle away and she has a bunch of dolls in a room that is the baby's room.
Yes.
But for a solid 10 minutes, I was like, oh, she's got a doll room too. And I didn't realize it was the baby's room until I saw like the bassinet and things like that. And I was like, oh, that's right. Normal people don't have a room just devoted to dolls.
Nope.
That's just our life that we've become accustomed to and like, don't even question it.
I'm so accustomed to this doll room that's downstairs. When we first moved in here, I remember my mom calling dibs on that room, which is one of the biggest rooms in this house.
It's for the dolls.
She's like, it's for the dolls. You and your brother will have upstairs. And
you guys had to share a room at first, right?
No, that would be ridiculous. A room devoted only to the dolls, and I have to share a room.
We spent a lot of nights not sleeping together, but we had a lot of sleepovers in the doll room. Yeah. The first time I watched Walking Dead
was in the doll room. All of our improv practices were in the doll room.
Yeah, it's the first time I had sex. And the doll...
a lot of... I don't think my mom would listen to this, so it's okay.
But my mom will.
Not the best things have occurred in that room.
But also some of the best things have occurred in that room. Remember that time I pretended to be a goat?
During an improv scene? Provide context, because if you don't say that it was in an improv scene, you just sound like a crazy psychopath.
One day I walked in and I told Christian, today I'm a goat.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
My name is Alejandro.
And my name is Christian, not the goat man. No one calls him the goat man. It's a weird thing because the word goat refers to greatest of all time. And that's not you. But
that's why I'm the goat man. It's goat, comma, man.
I'm the goat man. We're going to talk about Annabelle today.
Oh, you bitch.
We're going to talk about a scary movie today because it is October, and I'm very excited to watch scary movies for the rest of the month.
Well, I signed up to do this podcast, and I'll do what I must.
Yeah.
We watched a film called Annabelle. And for those of you who don't know, it's based on that Twilight Zone movie where the doll comes to life and kills everyone.
Talking Tina.
Oh, Chucky.
It's not based off of that. It's not based off of it because this was based on true happenings, right?
It's based on a story that people said was true.
I mean, and it's up for the viewers or anyone that's into this to speculate whether or not it is true. But I think it's entirely possible, dude.
It's not.
You're just saying that it's fake so that you could sleep well at night.
Maybe part of it. Or is it the fact that Harry Houdini made his money going off and around debunking things like this? As a magician, he didn't appreciate people taking advantage of the naivete of people, making them scared of ghosts and money and talking to spirits and entities. And so he didn't want people to be scammed by it. I'd be fine if people weren't like losing a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Going to these houses and buying the Amityville Horror House and going to museums and shit.
But that's their problem. All we're doing is just streaming this on Prime Video, dude.
So scary. Wait, this is on Prime Video?
No, it's I rented it.
Oh, me too.
Okay, yeah.
We watched a movie called Annabelle, and let's just get this fucking thing over with. It was released in the year 2014 and is rated R.
I've heard that too many times to even react to it. So,
Well, you missed Talk Like a Pirate Day. That was September 19th. So I'm glad you gave me a call on my favorite holiday. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes or 99 minutes. I thought it actually had a pretty good runtime. I will say this right at the top. Enjoyed this movie more than I thought it would.
yes.
You know, I really thought I wasn't going to enjoy it. Yes, it did scare me. Yes, it was very intense. But I did actually kind of have fun with it. More
It's
than I
fun,
expected.
dude. It really is. And that's the whole point of this horror genre. So that we could watch it. And it's the whole cliche of haunted doll. I mean, the fact that, and we're going to get into it, but the fact that they had to obviously embellish the Annabelle doll because it was originally a Raggedy Ann doll. And they had to make it this porcelain doll that is larger than any child I've ever seen.
There is a Raggedy Ann doll in the background in one of the scenes. I'm trying to remember
Like an
which
Easter
one
egg.
it was.
Yeah.
Because I remember singing and being like, oh, I know that doll.
I think it might be in somewhere in the museum, in the Warrens Museum, like in the background as like a little homage to what it really is. Like in the actual museum, it's very scary how they keep it in the glass box. It's like there's like a red light on it, right?
Yeah, no, it's in a glass box and it has a.
This is
a
Karen,
card
by the
on
way.
it.
Karen is my girlfriend, and she is I would say, Annabelle Conjuring franchise savant.
I
Yeah.
just love horror movies.
It's a good franchise to get into.
But the case is the same case that they keep the real Annabelle doll in.
But a Raggedy Ann doll isn't as big as this 4-foot-long
No,
Annabelle
the Raggedy
doll.
Ann doll in the original picture with Lorraine. What's her name?
Yeah, Edna
Yeah.
Lorraine Warren.
Like it's a huge Raggedy Ann doll.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
And it played with the whole thing. Like, what is accurate is that the Raggedy Ann doll was so popular, it was hard to find the Raggedy Ann doll at the time.
yeah,
And
like
so,
Cabbage Patch Kids.
yeah, exactly. And so Mia in this film was just like, oh my gosh, I've been looking forever for this. And
See,
got it.
it should have been, yeah, I wish it was more like, because a porcelain doll, the fact that she was so super into porcelain dolls, and like I said before we started recording, a number of times in this movie, they'd be like, oh my God, is that Annabelle? She's part of a giant collection. And it's like, what collection? What dolls?
Because they do set her next to the
They
other
said-
dolls
they
that
said
are
actually
way
two
smaller.
Other dolls. Yeah, and immediately her husband, I think his name's John, immediately is like, oh, that's the one you've been looking for, right? She's like, it fits the set. It's like, no, it
Completes
doesn't.
the set.
It doesn't complete any. That's a whole different set of toys.
You're getting so mad about that.
Because I used to play with the 12-inch G.I. Joes, and all my cousins would buy me the little tiny G.I. Joes for Christmas. And it's like, I don't
Completes the
want the
set.
little ones.
It completes the
I want the
set.
12-inch figures.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's get into the nitty gritty because there's a lot to talk about with this movie because as it's good in the sense that it's entertaining. It really is. It's scary. I watched it by myself.
It has a storyline, and I will say, not to be too much of a dick, I love this movie most when I watch the credits because I learned so much about the producers. We'll get there at the end. This
You
movie
like
has,
that part?
yeah. I'll tell you why I like that.
You
part
like
in
when
just
it's
a
not
second.
scary?
I like when it's over. I like when the movie's done.
Oh my gosh.
It has a 5.4 out of 10 on the International Movie Database. It has a 29% on the Rotten Tomatoes and a 37% on the Metacritic. Christian and Karen, since you're here too, you guys want to guess what percentage of Google users approve of this film?
Do you know it already? No? Do you want to go
No.
first?
Pick a number.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm going to say 87%.
I was gonna say I think it's pretty high.
What you think?
76.
76?
That's a lower number
for Google users.
than what Christian said, even though you justified it by saying, I think it's high. But you do win because the answer is 75%.
What? It's that low? People don't like this, and I think it's people like you. It's you people.
No, because this is
What
the
do you
worst.
mean, you people?
This isn't the best one in the whole Conjuring series.
You're right.
I will say, and you know, I am new to the scary film genre. Not as scary as it was scary, but not as like I thought the jump scares would be worse.
Yeah.
I was more scared of just like what I was looking at, less so than like the jump
Sometimes I
scare.
appreciate that more in horror films. Like it'll stick with you because you the feeling, the tone, the imagery is scary.
Yes.
The jump scares I feel are temporary.
the demon hiding behind Annabelle
Yes.
is far scarier than Annabelle falling and like meeting your eyes.
And
Which
apparently that demon is a recurring demon
Yes,
in the
of-
franchise, right?
yes,
and
it
we
is.
understand we
And the
find
hand,
out its origin.
does the demon have a
hands.
name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll call him Chad.
The demon had long ass fingers,
The
which
demon,
I hate.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and you see those fingers more.
Needs a manicure because it's just like
No,
points
it makes
randomly.
it awesomely creepy. It's
What if you just start doing like
great.
gang signs?
like this This demon's a crip.
Is he crip walking?
Is he sea walking? This demon just coming out of the elevator.
The elevator scene was entirely scary.
Terrifying. One of the scariest.
And that was made by a different director, the elevator scene.
Do you know which director was it?
I do not.
It was
but
a
I know it was a
collab.
different one.
Was it James Wan, the guy who did The Conjuring?
No.
Oh, because he was a producer on this film, and he's also doing the new Aquaman movie.
Whoa.
Yes, because they want to do a horror film.
All right, let's get into it.
Synapses coming at you.
Right.
John Form thinks he's found the perfect gift for his expected wife, Mia. A vintage doll in a beautiful white dress. Sorry, none of these dolls are wearing white dresses. However, the couple's delight doesn't last long. One terrible night, devil worshippers invade their home and launch a violent attack against the couple. When the cultists try to summon a demon, they smear a bloody rune on the nursery wall that drips blood on Mia's doll, thereby turning the former object of beauty into a conduit of ultimate evil.
Not even an object of beauty. That doll was ugly
always
from
scary,
the get.
always scary. And also super let down that doll never winked. I was waiting that entire movie for the doll to just like ping
Or a single blink, something.
or
right?
move.
Right. It moved. It moved once. Toward the end, it gets up.
It's like, but I could see the strings.
Pretty bad production value.
I know, and actually, I said that out loud. I think I see the strings, but it was actually like light on the curtain. But they should have done it better. It looked like a string.
Real quick, kind of scared to talk a little bit of shit about this movie or anything in this franchise because I feel it's gonna come back and haunt me later.
I have my stones in my purse.
And
you.
also,
Thank you.
don't worry, it won't. This movie was released in 2014 and had a budget of. Christian, do you want to guess the budget? Because this was actually really surprising for me too. How much did it cost to make Annabelle?
70 million. I don't know.
It cost $6.5 million to make this film.
Really that low?
Horror films are cheap to make.
I guess so.
Would you like to guess how much money this movie made in its box office recoup?
I think it was a hit. Probably like at least like I'm gonna say like 80 mil.
Karen,
I have no idea.
you want to just pick a number?
81 mil.
Nice.
Whoa,
Price is
whoa, whoa,
right.
whoa.
Price is right rules. Okay. Well, Karen wins technically, but it made $257.6 million.
Jesus Christ, man. Dude, it's so easy to make money with like a solid horror movie. If you have like a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they played it right. I mean, I have nothing against the production of this film, except for one of the producers, but we'll get to that later.
You know what makes this movie so sellable is that there's like a mascot with it. Annabelle, right? With The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, those objectively are like scarier movies, right? And like probably better, more well done. But with this, there's like a face to the monster, right? A face to the thing that can kill you.
It's all, but yes, I see it on the other side from the production company of being like, think about how many toys we can sell to adults.
They didn't make that many toys, man.
I bet you there's quite a bit of Annabelle licensed properties out there that people bought,
An Annabelle action figure.
or just like an Annabelle doll. You don't think some like crazy
Yeah, at
horror
the
film?
spirit store. They're
Yeah,
not
for
selling them like
Like full quality.
yeah.
Well, whatever. They had to sign a licensing agreement to what it was.
I'm sure it does exist because there
Warner
are
Brothers.
some...
It's Warner Brothers. Oh my God! Of course, there's a licensing agreement. This movie's owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, money, dude.
Yes,
Money.
they're the Money Brothers. So yeah, we'll just jump into it because I want to get this fucking Band-Aid off quicker than quick.
What's it start off with? It starts off with like the two girls saying like, I want to get rid of this doll.
It's
Like it's
Yeah.
doing weird shit in my dorm.
yeah. It's and is that are we supposed?
Here's what it is.
Is that the nurse?
That's
the nurse's
nurse
daughter.
from
lady's
the
daughter?
end
Yeah. Okay.
of the
okay.
movie.
And I
Yeah.
assume they come up in the
They come up
sequel?
in the next movie.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a prequel and a sequel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And apparently this all fits into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, it's an Aquaman, so
It isn't. Okay, you're right. So this is part of the DC,
DC universe.
the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe. Fantastic. Zack Snyder, hop on it, baby.
Annabelle versus the Watchmen.
I would only if Zack Snyder can direct it, so he can make Annabelle even darker somehow. Like we get to see Annabelle's doll parents get beat or something, which is like, oh, that's why Annabelle's a bitch.
Oh, this is very touching.
Also, Annabelle is like a person who's trapped in a body now or something. But
Karen was telling us prior to the episode that
that's like almost exactly what it is.
watch the rest of the movies to understand the full context and story behind
I
Annabelle.
have a feeling I will.
Yeah, you probably are.
yeah, you will. It's
Yeah.
spooky season.
So they're giving up this doll, and then there's a flashback, and we get to meet John and Mia.
Yes.
And Mia's pregnant. They're in church, not listening to the father at all, just playing Thumb Wars. And they are just completely distracted, not paying attention to the sermon.
Hard to pay attention.
Why even go to church if you're not going to pay attention?
So hard. It's
Read the
difficult,
book.
dude. When the priest is talking like this and speaks like this, as a kid, I had to turn around and just stare at the family behind me.
My parents used to bring me Hot Wheels.
But they weren't paying attention. They meet up with their neighbors later, which I forgot that they played like quite a role in this entire franchise.
The Higgins.
The Higgins.
The Higgins familia.
Higgins, yeah.
Yeah, they're next door neighbors. They must have drove together. I think they carpooled.
Yeah.
Because they get back home and the Higgins are like, oh, well, we love you and like have a nice time with your baby. And then as they're walking away, they do that great movie thing where they're whispering and the people are like not that far away from them. She's like, their daughter died not too long ago. And it's like, they can definitely still hear you.
Her daughter didn't die.
Oh, they
Their
ran
daughter,
away.
Their
that's why
daughter
we
ran
don't know
away.
yet. They said, but she says they lost their daughter just 2 months ago.
Yes.
That's what she says. So
Very
we're
ambiguous.
We're to think that maybe the daughter's dead. No, the daughter actually turned into a hippie and joined like the Manson family.
That's exactly what it is. Because John says like ran away, became a hippie, and her name's probably Star. And they make a joke about like how Star is probably a better name than what was the name they said? Phyllis?
Yes.
That's the ugliest name.
That's what he wanted to name the baby if it's a girl.
Yes.
Because of his aunt that everybody hates.
Yes, you're gonna hate Aunt Phyllis.
And I think he just hates the fact that his wife's pregnant right now in the middle of his time to start his
His residency.
residency.
Dude, she's super pregnant. Like she like
Alex hated the belly button.
Oh, that pregnant belly buttons really not gross me out. They make me uncomfortable, especially 8 months into a pregnancy.
when I first saw that when they were doing the ultrasound, I thought it was like a big boob and like I thought it was a colorless nipple that I saw, and I was like, whoa! I don't remember there being nudity in this movie the first time I watched it.
Where do babies come from?
What is that?
So the kid's a hippie off doing Manson shit. And then who would have thought that a weird cultist would turn into a family that like they just start killing their parents?
Straight up. And there was like a lot of foreshadowing in this because
You've seen the Manson thing on the TV. And
yeah.
like
With the Annabelle doll in that commercial on the little TV.
Oh,
with the
was
big,
there a commercial?
huge Annabelle doll. Yeah.
Whoa, I missed that.
Yeah. When she was
Foreshadowing.
sewing. Yeah,
Yes.
they had a big Annabelle doll on the scene, and that was apparently like the original like picture of the actual Annabelle doll.
Good foreshadowing in this. They did a lot of good. They used a lot of good horror devices, like the building up the tension with the sewing machine.
Oh yeah.
Like, because that happens like 3 times where they zoom in on her finger sewing in. And
I knew immediately what was going to happen, and it scared me every single time.
yes, well, we knew it was gonna happen eventually, but I didn't know it was gonna like. They make us go through that 3 times. I'm like, fuck, move your finger. Move your finger.
Well, and then what they do with like the apron in the background, like with the white and like the red on like the apron that's hanging up on the wall, but you think that like, oh, that may be Annabelle. When like the killer comes in, the daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
Small things,
It's
dude.
so good.
So as the Higgins family are getting brutally murdered next door, the mom wakes up and she's like, "Oh, you should go check on them."
Stupid.
And they're just like, "Oh, yeah, okay, let me go next door and see what's going on." And he goes next door. And we don't get to see what happens, but John comes out covered in blood.
He's like, don't worry, it's not mine.
Yeah.
Run.
No, he doesn't say run. He says, go call an ambulance. And then he runs back into the house.
Yeah.
Where she's now inside with the Helter Skelter twins and gets into a fight. Then the dude tries to stab her pregnant belly. The cops come, shoot the dude. They go find the doll being held by the Higgins' daughter, Annabelle, who has now slit her throat and written a weird, like, demonic thing.
Right?
Was it an A? Like a cave drawing of a person without a head.
It looked like the A from Easy A.
Or the, like, the Anarchy A, but, like, tilted a lot.
And not finished.
No circle.
She ran out of blood to draw with.
She had already slit her throat. That's what it was.
She tried drawing after she slit her throat.
Yes. Yeah.
She did it out of order.
First, you draw. Then you slit your
Slit your throat. Is this your first time in the occult? Come on, girl.
Read the fucking book.
I'm very scared. I don't want to make fun of this too much because it's gonna happen.
Nah, man, they got Satan way wrong.
This
You're weird, man. Very fine line in between your like last podcast on the left hail Satan thing, and then like you being like, I'm scared of spiders.
Yeah, I killed the biggest spider the other day.
She
You
had to
were
kill him.
fucking terrified. He closed the fucking door.
I haven't been on the porch in 4 days.
Get a cup and trap that thing.
No, I
No, 'cause then it's
smashed it.
still
It was
alive.
fucking
Or
huge.
smash it. Whatever you got to do.
Here's the thing: spiders are real and devils aren't.
Dude.
Yeah. Well,
Come on.
Let's talk about this doll that absorbs blood through its eyes.
That's a thing.
Dolls absorbing
in
blood?
later movies.
Okay, we watched one of them, Karen.
She bled into the eye and it just fell into the socket. So,
Okay, so let me spit into one of these things' eyes and see if it.
I would hate for you to possess one of these dolls.
Don't do that.
It would be so obnoxious. This
Don't do
doll would
that.
just be so obnoxious.
You're better living with him.
Oh
you
my
trust,
God.
Would you trust a doll with my soul in it?
No.
Or a real life elf on the shelf?
Real life elf on the shelf.
That seems creepier to me.
I don't think so. He's just trying to do things that rhyme with other things. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf? Here's Bill on the Hill. I don't know. It's Bill Cosby like rolling down the hill. Bad analogy. Bill Cosby, stay off Twitter, please. Let's talk about this movie. This I wouldn't trust you. Don't spit in the doll's eye. The doll would just be making dick jokes all the time.
There also is a not to jump back too far, but in the very beginning when we see Annabelle, like in the very beginning when it's like the future, Annabelle has like a stab in its eye.
Yes.
So I was waiting for this whole movie for somebody to stab Annabelle in the eye. Because I wanted Annabelle to wink. I just really want to see a doll wink. We even have a script that I've been working on where I have a doll winking in the script.
Do you want a doll wink?
I just think it's really funny,
Sexy?
scary, funny, sexy at the same time. It's all the things. It hits
Annabelle's kind of hot.
It hits all the things for me, baby.
That doll's just way too big, man. When she
It's way too big.
And I hated that its body was clearly made out of pillow and its arms were also porcelain.
Consistency,
Because
please.
every time they pick it up, the arms kind of like do that thing. They do the flop around thing, and I'm just like, they don't have kung fu grip. This doll.
nothing.
They're not a sex doll, baby. It's a baby doll.
Why
Like,
do
it's-
sex dolls have kung fu grip?
No, they just.
Because kung fu grip is a G.I. Joe thing.
Dude, if Annabelle was a haunted sex doll,
Oh, I was thinking if Annabelle was a haunted G.I. Joe. Oh, that's Small Soldiers.
that is true. That is true. This is
And
pretty
Mia
crazy.
Mia loves the doll.
Yes. Real quick, fun fact: Mia's actress's name is also Annabelle.
Annabelle.
That is
That
a
must have sucked for
hilariously
her.
fun
Yeah.
fact.
I think she probably loved it.
Do you think
Yeah.
so?
Oh yeah, I would have loved that. But my
would've-
name's Karen, so
Did you recognize her at all? You know what else she's been in?
She is in. I know that she used to be dating Chris Pine. She might still be currently dating Chris Pine.
Oh.
Yeah. What else
Oh,
is
I
she
didn't
from?
know that. I thought Chris Pine was gay. She is the girlfriend-ish from Peaky Blinders.
Oh, she's with what's his name?
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. Yeah, that's his birth name. Cillian Murphy.
He played the Scarecrow in the Batman movie.
I like her. She was really pretty. She did.
She's a great actress.
She had
So,
that glow.
Oh man, I kept getting her. I couldn't figure out who I was getting her mixed up with, but what it was is her doing the Irish accent from Peaky Blinders that I kept imagining, and then the guy who plays John, I kept imagining. Have you ever seen Mindhunters on Netflix,
No, but I'm familiar with it.
or you've watched Hamilton on Disney Plus?
No.
Well, the guy who plays King George is the same guy from Mindhunters.
Gotcha.
He looks like this guy. I kind of wanted it to be him.
Really?
Yeah.
His acting chops were they were okay.
Not bad. No, good acting for a horror film. I will say that too.
Mia.
Really good acting for the. Yeah.
Annabelle Wallis, she had the best acting in this. Except for her screaming. I didn't like her screaming at the end.
That baby was the best actor. That baby was so adorable. Leah,
So cute.
Leah, the baby gets born, and it's fine.
Yeah. Really chubby baby from a very
Oh, so
skinny
cute.
woman.
So cute.
Yes.
But that's what happens. Fat babies make skinny people.
Fat babies make skinny people?
Skinny babies make fat people.
Because, wait. No, I'm trying to understand your logic here.
When I was a baby, I was fat in a circle.
And then your mom was skinny right after she gave birth. That's because
No.
you took her fat with you
No,
when you were made.
Has nothing to do. I'm talking about the baby grows into that thing. Like if the
Okay.
baby's fat, they grow into being a skinny person, or if the baby's skinny, they grow into being a fat person. It's just science.
Okay, sure.
It's just as much science as a doll becoming possessed.
You really don't like this. I think, to get back into it, I think that all of the wrong moves were made. All of the
Yes.
common horror movie tropes, like throwing the doll in the trash can.
Trash
and then
can,
just thinking
yeah.
that's enough.
Big slap in the face to Annabelle because she's gonna come back.
And
Well, she
also,
always does.
Does the
Yeah.
garbage man want to deal with that? Now, is he cursed for the rest of his life?
Maybe.
That's not how it works, though. I don't think.
That's how the pirate coins worked in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, but I don't think the garbage man is like weak. That's what they do. They prey on the weak.
You're right. We should respect the garbage men more.
It
They
does
have
take a
hard job.
lot. It does take a lot of
Wakes up
strength and
really
pride.
early, yeah, and they have to have a Class A license.
So yeah, Annabelle can't fuck with the garbage
You're right.
man.
You're right. That's why they stuck there.
But the garbage or not. But Annabelle could definitely fuck with this family.
Because this family's weak-willed.
There's they. I don't know. Their room is filled with all these dolls, and like she's not creeped out by it already from the get. This is a creepy looking doll. Like, how are you gonna keep this doll?
It's already kind of like the lipstick on the doll already kind of make it look
Kind
like
of
a Joker.
smeared.
Yeah.
A little smeared.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fix yourself up, girl.
Don't
Does
hang
it
out with that
start
uncle
out
anymore.
smeared, though?
I
Yes.
don't know.
When
I
she
think
pulls
it's
it out
kind
of the box, she's got like
When he pulls it out of the box,
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. When they pull it out of the box, it's got lipstick all over its fucking face. It's just a terrifying fucking doll.
Yeah. I mean, because it's Hollywood and they're supposed to embellish it. It did its job. Makes a scary cover, and it
is.
Yeah, it's very
really
memorable.
I looked up the symbol, by the way.
What-
The A symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
It means worship Satan and demons,
Whoa.
bring demons into the world,
Whoa.
give demons power.
You would think that
Hell
they would
yeah.
probably use like a fictitious symbol, right?
Why this stuff? Because this stuff is already a fictitious symbol, Christian.
Keep telling yourself
This
that.
stuff is already not real.
Annabelle will be
yourself
there
that.
when we get home.
Stop. Okay, wait. I'm worried about you guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll send you a picture if she is.
So they eventually like move out because she's freaking the hell out.
And they move into Ellen DeGeneres' apartment complex.
Yes.
What?
That's where
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres lives.
That's where they filmed that apartment building is where
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres lives. And Ellen had no idea.
And she also moved out
Really?
because she's scared of dolls. Actually, that's not true. I don't know about that. I just want to say I do love how like they filmed in LA clearly, but also like they didn't take the time to take down like modern exit signs.
Oh, so
Because
it
it's like,
doesn't fit.
oh, this is 1968, but they have LED exit signs.
No one's paying attention to that. That's why we're all too scared.
I am. I keep looking in the background of like the streets and the cars and shit like that. I'm like, they really had to blur out a lot of the background because LA don't look the same. LA don't look the same, man.
It was bad timing when he had to leave to go to, was it San
Sacramento.
Jose? Sacramento
Yeah.
for his for a conference.
Horrible timing.
I would have been like, I'm sorry, we almost got killed. I'm staying with my wife.
Or just put her in the back of a car and just drive her to Sacramento.
That
Yes,
seems worse.
bring
She's
her.
about to give birth. She can't travel when
she
she's pregnant.
can lay in a van.
There's
on the way to
hospitals on
Sacramento.
the
You
way.
can't travel when you're pregnant.
don't know.
Can't fly when you're pregnant.
Just
You
don't go to
can't
the
travel.
conference. I think you could miss a conference if your pregnant wife got stabbed.
Yeah, he's really not like taking
Priorities, John.
I mean, I'd use that as an excuse even if I wanted to go. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
yes.
yeah, my wife got stabbed. I can't go. And then I'd go tell my wife, oh, I have to go to this conference. And then I'll just go take like a 2-day vacation by myself.
that's fucked up, dude. Commit to one thing.
Never.
I like the bit where he leaves for the conference and he leaves the popcorn on the stove. And then the stove turns on by itself.
Well, Annabelle turns it on. I assume it's Annabelle.
Yeah, it has to be.
Burns
Annabelle.
down the whole house. The house. That's the house.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Burns down the house.
Oh, that was
And then that's why they have to move
And
to the
that's why they
apartment.
move, yeah.
And when they're unboxing, that's when they find Annabelle in like the box of towels.
And
Did you
that's when
notice-
she's dirty. That's when she has like the smudge on her face and everything. They're like,
she's
oh, it
definitely
must
a lot
be because
dirtier.
of the fire.
So maybe
Definitely
the
a lot
garbage
dirtier.
man did take her. Fucked up the garbage man, came back, and now she's all dirty.
The garbage man like came to put it back, and the whole house was burned down. He's like, "Fuck!
Fuck, where do I return
I guess I'll
this?
put it in that box right there."
Yo, real quick, Annabelle's a Jedi because, like, not to jump too far, but like with the whole priest thing, when the priest gets so close to getting in the church, she
Oh, yeah.
force pulls him, and he gets fucked up from the sidewalk.
What's so cool is in the Conjuring movies, you see what's happening to the Warren family during that time. It's like it overlaps. It's really cool.
Man.
Ah, dude, they put in a lot of thought, and I know how you like extended universes.
And that's why he likes it.
And this movie's maybe also produced by the guy who's in charge of the DC Extended Universe, Walter Hamada. So it's
dude.
almost like Warner Brothers knows what they're doing.
This is like a great crossover for you guys because she's really into this franchise and you're really into DC. So like, this is the perfect thing, man.
I tried getting her a comic book, specifically of the Conjuring storyline. How'd that story go?
Wait. There's
I don't know where you put it. Is it in the fun drawer?
I don't know. I'm not the one who cleans.
I know.
Wait, they have a comic of the Conjuring.
Yeah,
they
they,
did a-
have
they
a
did a- They
a
did a
comic.
whole limited series for the Conjuring.
Whoa, that's pretty
The
cool.
one we have is just the Annabelle one, though.
I don't know. I never read it. I honestly didn't even open it to look at the art.
You should be Annabelle for Halloween.
Okay. So when he does come back, this girl or his wife has been going through hell. Like there is a solid 40 minutes of this film where it's just like every day she's going through shit. She meets the fucking Babadook downstairs.
The Babadook.
She hears the neighbors upstairs having like a very physical altercation.
Yeah.
Her daughter or the baby is just all over the place. And
It's crazy. Okay, let's break
she
down
meets
those
those
scenes.
asshole kids on the stairs.
Okay, let's talk about those kids real quick. The little girl was really nice because she was trying to introduce herself, but the smart boy was like smart but kind of douchey.
Smarmy.
Yeah, he was just like,
but was he douchey? He said, "Don't talk to strangers." We don't know this woman.
yes,
Like,
that. I think the delivery was a little douchey. That's why I'm saying he's smart
Yeah.
but douchey. But also,
what
if you don't
happened
want
to them?
if you don't want to meet strangers, stay in the fucking room.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, don't be coloring on the stairs. You might fall down, or a stranger might talk to you. Stay in your fucking room. You're coloring. You could
Stay
do
in
that
your lane.
indoors, kid. Okay, and then that's when we find the colorings. What's wrong?
These poor kids are just trying to not hear mom and dad argue anymore, so they go outside.
Their life is fucked up indoors.
And you're just like, get back in there and listen to your parents argue. You won't have balls if you don't.
Strangers outside and a
There's
bad
strangers
parenting.
inside.
Well, at least a demon doesn't want to take over their mom.
Not yet. The kids didn't draw the photos that
No,
she finds.
no,
Yeah, the
no,
demon
no,
did.
no.
That's why the demon's playing with the crayons later.
Is
Demon
it?
I don't know. The demon was playing with crayons quite
It
a
rolls
bit.
out. It does roll out.
Yeah. He was like,
And
oh,
that was a
remember
real
this?
thing for Annabelle. Was that the people that had the real Annabelle, like they had parchment paper with like red writing on it?
Yeah, so I've
that
heard.
said those things, and like they didn't have parchment paper. In
Yeah,
the
the
house.
owners said that.
Yeah, and it was all over their house saying stuff like that.
Like, your soul, we want the baby soul.
I don't think
Your
it was
soul.
that. I think it was
You
help
gotta
me
pay
or
the toll
she made me
toll.
do it.
Help Me was on one of them.
Yeah, it
Like I
was
said,
one of those.
I watched one YouTube video and I feel like I know a lot. Are you freaking out now?
No, not at all, because it's not real.
Baddies, thanks for tuning into the show. This episode is brought to you by Wild Heart Stones. If you need some fossils, gems, and sage, we have a website for you.
That's right. My friend Kyle, she's promised to bring us the best self-collected, self-selected, and treasured gems to you, all at very reasonable prices on her website, wildheartstones.com. Kyle and her father have been digging up these rocks all her life. Her dad was a geology professor back in the day, and they used to go to rock shows. They pretty much know everything that rock.
Nice. You guys could save 15% on all of your purchases. Just use promo code ICBTB at checkout. And a link to the website will be down in the description, or you can find it on our website at ICBTB.com.
Thank you guys so much. Wildheartstones.com.
Yeah, check
Thank
them
you,
out.
Kyle.
Enjoy the show.
Let's
Talk about the basement scene real quick.
talk about the
Yes.
basement scene.
So you said that was directed by a different director.
It was.
And it does feel... It had a different feel of horror. Very good.
Yes.
What did she go down for again?
to go put
fabric
stuff in
away.
yeah, to put stuff like in her storage unit down there.
That's what that was.
And their storage unit is 607. Should have been 666.
Should it have been, or is that too obvious?
Too obvious.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are horror films all about like the subtlety and not being in your face?
Actually, sometimes. I don't know if you have room to speak because you don't watch enough horror films, man.
Exactly.
Water under the bridge.
So, wait. She sees the stroller, like her kid's stroller there.
Yes.
She didn't bring it down.
Is it her kid's stroller or is it just a stroller?
It's just a stroller because when they go up to the baby, even though it's a baby fucking screaming, when I wanted to mute it so bad because I hate that noise, and then you go up to and it was just like a bloody towel.
Yeah.
babies crying is like a horrible thing ever. If you hear a baby crying in like ancient cultures, that was a sign of a demon being possessed. In like modern day contemporary time, some people will use a recorded sound of a crying baby to lure people in, and then they'll attack them and kill them and take their money. So pretty much anytime you hear a crying baby, unless it's your baby, don't go near it.
Yeah. I think youth in general is like not a good, but it's a horror device that is commonly used in these films. Like you'll hear like in
They
Freddy
said this
Krueger
is 'cause
films.
they're weak.
Oh, weak.
It's what the lady said at the bookstore.
Yeah, that is true. They're weak. They're innocent. It's the contrast of evil and innocence, which is why kids or like dead children always pop up in movies.
Why didn't they try
Yes.
and get this baby baptized? Isn't that supposed to save babies from all that shit?
It probably was baptized. That doesn't
Yeah.
save you from demons.
If you're going to church every Sunday, it was probably baptized.
I
but-
bet you they weren't going to church every Sunday, because when they do finally go back with the baby,
What? Oh, the baby's like
big.
very.
That baby can turn
Very
itself
fat.
over already.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Babies can turn over after 6 months, Alex.
Okay,
So it's
then
been 6
it's been
months?
6 months. That's a long time for these people not to be part of the
You
congregation.
can't go to church with a 3-month-old baby. It's gonna
I-
cry every 15
You're right.
minutes.
I have a state for you to meet. Have you ever been to Utah? They got babies being born
I don't
in those
want to go to
churches.
Utah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, but they could probably just do church at home. They probably do church at home because screaming babies, or they all have screaming babies, and there's an understanding of screaming babies in church.
Yes.
It's 6:30 time for the screaming baby sermon.
Okay.
Oh, good. Last week we went to at 7:30, and it was the screaming adult sermon. It was not as good, not
Okay,
nearly as fascinating.
But the elevator scene.
Yes. So it gets really scary when she goes into the elevator to run away from the
Yes.
very dark demon, and she presses it, and it's like taking forever to close, and it finally
And
closes.
the music is so good.
So
I
good.
was like holding my breath the whole time, and I've seen it before.
The music was like, "Tell me when will you be mine? Quando, quando, tell me quando, quando."
I wish.
I wish it had like real elevator music, just to completely. What the fuck is happening here?
Whoa.
That would be scarier.
Actually, yes.
Wouldn't that be scarier?
If it was like slow, soft jazz.
Yes.
But instead, it's this scary ass shit. And what makes it scarier is that when it opens up again, she's expecting her floor, right?
No.
And then it opens up and it's the same floor. And she's like, fuck.
And that happens like four
4
times.
times.
Yes.
4 times does she not get to go to her floor, and then finally she's like, "Oh, I guess I'll take the stairs."
I'm gonna run to the exit sign. That's non-existent.
That's
at this
clearly
time.
that's clearly lit up in the middle of the night.
But she ran up because she started hearing her baby Leah crying, right? She
I
was
think
like,
she
oh my
just
God.
ran because that was the 4th time, and the elevator lights went out.
The elevator lights went out,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't. I think she didn't hear Leah crying until she started running up the stairs already.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then she looks down the stairs, and like the Babadook's following her
It's
and
not
shit.
the Babadook. That's a different movie.
This thing had it's the demon with long fingers, lacking a manicure.
What's the name of Death Note? What's the Death Note monster?
Willem Dafoe.
You're right. This monster's Willem Dafoe. So Willem Dafoe's chasing her up the stairs.
Yes. At this point, does she get separated from her baby and all the books start falling on the baby?
I think that's later.
So that's a little bit later, but that scene is very funny to me because
I thought the bookshelf was gonna fall on the baby.
I think
That
that's what
would've
they're
been-
insinuating.
that's
Yeah.
what they should have done if these ghosts
Alex
are really
was
trying.
like, the books are gonna kill the
I was
baby.
like, the books are gonna kill the baby. I'm also pretty sure even if the book's on the highest shelf and it falls on her, it's just gonna hurt a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
the only time I've seen somebody get killed by a book is, and you'll see this in John Wick 3, and that's a way different way to murder somebody with a book than what was going to happen here. He puts the book in the guy's mouth and then slams into it.
God.
That's definitely a way to kill somebody with a book.
Oh, God.
I don't think dropping a book on someone's head will kill
No.
them.
But like,
And the baby's got a soft spot. It'll bounce right off.
I don't know if it works that way, dude.
Is that not what soft spots are for, to bounce things off?
No,
No,
don't even
they're
test
in the
it.
back of the neck, so you can't just bounce things.
The
off
soft
of
spot's
them.
on the back
It's
of their
right
neck?
here.
No, it's on the crown of their head.
Nonetheless, I don't want a book to fall on a baby. Those were like thick books. Is Mia reading? I guess she must be reading hella Bibles.
Well, and she's married
Just
to
to get the different
she's married to a doctor.
Oh, they're all medical books.
They're all medical
Right.
books.
I thought they were Bibles.
No, she just has 27 Bibles on the shelf because
This
she
one's
knows
in
she's haunted.
Spanish. This one's in
King
Tagalog.
James. This one's
King James II.
Diana.
This is the one with divorce. Then she gets to meet her friend, the lady
Evelyn.
Evelyn. She was Luke Cage's
Mom?
I can't remember who she played in Luke Cage.
She's been in a lot of stuff. I've seen her around.
I thought for a long time she was Biggie Smalls' mom from Notorious, but she's not.
God.
I was really hoping that was Loretta Wallace. I was just like, oh shit, Loretta.
you're in this
I know.
franchise?
Loretta.
But she's the typical character that like knows a bunch about this stuff and is like obviously going to sacrifice herself at the end.
I didn't pick up on that. I thought she was just
Really?
going to be like the person who like explains it, and then I did think she was probably going to die. But spoilers, when she does make the final sacrifice, I was like, oh, thank God.
She did that real quick.
Yeah, but do you know why she made the sacrifice? Like,
Because
this is jumping ahead.
She doesn't have her daughter anymore.
No.
Well, no, because when
Let's set
Sorry.
up, and then you can explain that part to Christian. So, of course, everything goes wrong, and she's learning about the demon, and they're trying to get the priest to help them out, and the priest is like, "Oh, you guys are screwed," and like, and Loretta is telling them that
Who's Loretta?
you're
You're talking about Evelyn.
Sorry, Evelyn.
Because you're thinking, yeah.
Loretta Wallace. Evelyn is like explaining to Mia all the things that like what it could mean, and gives Mia a bunch of books.
She's the
on,
context character.
on devil symbolism and
Her
things.
with also the detective, they're the context characters.
They're the ones who are like, wait, what's happening now?
Now, this is why everything's happening.
They were cultists. Here's the file. Here's the book on what the symbols mean.
Are you sure you want to know? All right, this is why.
Okay, I'll tell you. And a
Okay.
monologue.
Yes, a long monologue so that the audience can understand.
And then at the same time, the father, because the father had come over to try and save the doll, he takes the doll with him. And that's when he gets Jedi attacked.
Yes, force pulled.
He gets force pulled out of the church, snaps his neck or something.
That shit was crazy. So like even on the way there in the car, like the radio station started changing to like this very hateful religion talk, and it was creepy. Because like I've accidentally like when I didn't have my aux cord, I would like just browse like
For sure.
FM channels, and it would like somehow appear on this like very aggressive like Christian channel, or just like if you have sex before you're married.
For some reason, those stations always come through.
There's so many of them.
When me and my cousin drove cross country, there's multiple points when you're driving from like Arizona to Texas where there's no radio contact anywhere.
Except for those.
Or you're like, you'll have nothing, and then for whatever reason, that'll be the first station that comes back in.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is why people are crazy.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. This is the
Very-
only radio station they get.
They don't have podcasts. They
Not
just
yet.
have this. They
Yeah.
just had that.
Just Jack LaLanne. No,
So this guy gets fucked up. I thought he died, but like
I thought with the amount of blood that was on the sidewalk, I thought he was dead. And guess what? He goes to the same hospital that John works at.
Sean just like, fuck, dude.
And John sees the nuns in the hospital like praying, and he runs over to them. We don't hear what he's saying, but I imagine the conversation went something like this. Excuse me, ladies. I'm a straight white man who works at this hospital, and he gets to make all the decisions. Can I go in and see this man who clearly needs rest? And the nuns are like, yeah, you run the shit, go ahead. And so he went in and spent the night with, he kicked the nuns out, the people who actually know this priest, and he sat there instead like an asshole and watched him sleep.
Dude, yeah, I think that's when you need the nuns the most, because obviously
He's
your
close.
family's haunted.
And the father wakes up and is like, don't trust the doll, like, don't trust, it's a demon, it's evil. And so he goes and gets on the horn, he calls his wife, and he's like, Mia, get out of the house, get out of the house. But what is Mia here? And then she's like, okay, and hangs up the phone. And then that's when everything pops off.
And then that's when the door knocks.
That's when the door knocks, and
The
guess who's
1,
out?
2, 3, which is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Whoa.
Demons knocking
They
threes.
knock in threes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to think about how I knock at doors. I don't knock anymore because I have a
Well,
cell
you're
phone.
not a demon. So.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure that I don't knock in threes.
I always do one beat less of shaving a haircut.
One
What?
beat less than
Yeah,
shaving
so
a
I always
haircut?
go, bump,
In
bump,
the
bump,
hair.
bump.
Oh, is that what
so
that
that's shaving
jingle's
a
called?
haircut. Yeah, shaving a haircut, 2 bits.
No,
Wow, I
don't
didn't
know.
realize. You know, like some like weird like 19th century jingles that I'm like, wow, now I know.
I recently learned what the name of the song is that the ice cream truck plays.
What do they play? Yeah, do your chain hang low?
No, the real name of the song. It's called The Turkey and the String.
All these just sound like wives' tales.
It was Billy the Kid's favorite song. Turkey and the String.
Makes sense. But this is when we say, to get back to the movie, this is when we...
So
They
he
knock-
knocks 3 times. He says, and guess who's outside?
That's the
priest with his back to the door, and this shot I actually thought was really good.
It was
because
amazing.
He's got the uplight, his eyes are going crazy, and he's screaming. He's like,
He says, "May God have mercy on your soul."
Crazy, real
It
creepy.
was so good.
Yes, that was like
And
one
then
of the scariest
demon
moments.
jumps to the ceiling.
Yes, is Evelyn over at this time or
yes,
no?
Evelyn's there. Evelyn's at the house.
They're
and
kicking it.
They're reading the books together. They're having like book club. And then the door shuts, and Evelyn's trying to figure out what's going on. And Mia runs to go find Leah, and Leah's gone. And there's crayon all over the walls because Leah's a horrible daughter who doesn't understand personal products and personal,
This is when it gets crazy. So since Leah, the baby's missing, all Mia sees, she's like hallucinating at this point. She sees Annabelle and takes Annabelle and hits Annabelle's head against the crib 20 times and
She's
throws
just
it across
bashing
the
it.
room.
And as soon as that was happening, I turned to Karen and I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be the baby."
That's gonna
and sure enough, she looks over and it was the baby,
Dude,
But was it?
But
I
then we
was so
find
stressed.
out it actually wasn't. It was a different doll that looks a lot like that one.
you know, her reaction to the baby not actually being the baby and it being a doll, her reaction to that, she screamed. I would have had a sigh of relief. I would have been like, oh, thank fucking God.
But the baby's still gone.
You just killed the baby.
No, when it turned back into the doll.
Oh,
When it turned
okay.
back into the doll.
But you still don't know where your baby is.
That's true, but at least
that-
you didn't
kill your
it.
baby. I do want to say I saw that scene that was very parallel in my brain, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for this. For Superman,
Okay.
in the
Here we go.
I don't hate you,
in the Injustice comic books, right? The Joker is able to use Scarecrow's fear toxin, and he
Okay.
mixes it with kryptonite, sprays Superman in the face. Superman then sees Doomsday show up, and he thinks he's got the biggest villain ever. So he grabs Doomsday, flies him all the way out of the atmosphere, and suffocates him. And then the fear toxin wears off, and it was actually Lois Lane who he had killed, who was pregnant with her baby. And I was like, oh shit, they did the Scarecrow Joker thing.
It's so dark.
So crazy. Then Superman comes down and rips Joker's heart out. It's a really dark comic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Injustice issue 1, guys, check it out.
Of course, you connected it to Superman somehow.
Walter Hamada produced this.
Were you freaking out though?
I was like,
I was
at
so
that
stressed.
point, I was already trying to like call stuff. Like I thought the doll was gonna kill the priest in the car, and I thought the doll that she was beating was gonna be the baby. And so far, I had been wrong on all of those things. So I think right about at that point, I was kind of like, oh, they're purposely leading me to believe a thing and then doing something slightly different, right?
That's horror.
They know,
Yeah.
they know, like my brain, my naivety brain in the movie, like,
Yeah.
oh, I think it's going this way, and then it's like, just kidding.
It's all misleading, dude. All misleading. Tricking the brain so that we are left vulnerable. Our guard is down, and then
way
boom,
down.
here's a scare.
We find out that the demon can't take the soul of the baby.
Yes, because babies can't offer their souls. They can't take souls. It has to be offered to them through manipulation.
But we find out that the one way that a demon can get the soul is if Mia kills herself,
Yeah,
right?
They'll take
and
Mia's
sacrifices
soul.
her soul for the baby. And that's when John makes it home, and he sees Mia holding Annabelle at the window, and she's about to jump, and then and she
Evelyn?
like does, but he stops it. He like saves her very last second.
Grabs her, then Evelyn's like, every mother or every child needs its mother.
Yeah.
And that's why she's like, that's why you shouldn't sacrifice your soul. I'll sacrifice my soul. Then she backflips out of the window and just swan dives into the cement.
10 out of 10.
I did say when Mia was about to jump out the window, I was like, do a backflip.
Come on.
Make it cool. Now, Karen, please explain to me, because I think for an idiot like myself, I think Evelyn killed herself because she doesn't want the baby to have to grow up without a mother, just like she didn't want to grow up without a daughter.
Exactly.
But that's not exactly right. Why?
No,
why
I
did?
think that's kind of right. But if you go back to when the demon, like when you see the demon on the ceiling, when the door is open and Evelyn is like standing there and gets pushed out of the door, you see the demon like jump out of the door, and that's when the door closes. So the demon on the roof is jumping into Evelyn. So Evelyn is like the
weakest
of all person
of
because
them.
she misses her daughter and she needs someone else to connect to. So the demon latches onto her instead of the baby or the other mom,
Mia
because they have love. And Evelyn doesn't have the love. And so the demon jumps into her body, and that's when the door shuts. So even when the husband walks up, like, she's trying to get into the room and everything, but demons can, play cool and everything like that and be normal. And then they go in, and then that's why when Evelyn is talking to the mom and says, like, instead of saying every daughter needs a mom, she says every doll needs a daughter.
Did she say that?
Yeah, because then that's when the mom says, you just said every doll needs a daughter or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's when the switch happens and she grabs the doll and she jumps off and she dies.
Whoa. Whoa. You did a lot of research with this, huh?
No, I didn't research this movie.
Oh, this
at
is just
all.
you speculating.
It's just her watching it over and over and over again.
I've only seen this movie twice.
It's still a good amount. I mean, no, yeah, I guess I've only seen this movie twice too.
More than I have.
Dude. No, and then
It's so good.
I think it's good. I don't think it's the best
No,
of
it's
this
not.
franchise.
No.
But it's still a solid horror movie. Especially like
There were no horrors in this film, though.
No, baby, but there's horrors in other films and the
Yeah.
other Conjuring films. So
I get confused when you have me sit down and watch a horror film.
I like how you're trying to like comfort him. Like, don't worry, there are horrors.
there are
in
horrors
other-
at some point. There's 8 movies or something like
a
that.
horror's
At
got to
least
show up
one
eventually.
horror shows up, dude.
Annabelle, the horrors retreat.
The horrors come home.
Your new job should just be to like
Annabelle, the horse barn. And then people are like, horse's barn? They're like, no,
the
horror's barn.
There's a barn in the first one.
Apparently it's for sale.
Oh,
It's like
man.
the Amityville horror house always goes up for sale every few years.
Scary. Even the way that house looks, terrifying. I have those VHSs if we ever want to watch that.
The one with Ryan
VHS.
Reynolds?
No, the old ones.
That's also a Ed and Lorraine Warren story, the Amityville.
Yeah, the Amityville.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're connected
that's-
with that somehow. I haven't read into
That's one of
that.
their, that's what
Their first
really made
ones.
Ed and Lorraine Warren
What?
famous.
Yeah.
The Amityville horror
Yeah.
house? Because that's a scary.
That's a scary
That
thing.
story's very scary.
Well, what I think is so cool about the Annabelle thing is that they still have a priest come in twice a week
To
and
bless it.
bless the room.
Well, not anymore since the museum shut down. They actually
When
haven't
did it
been-
shut down?
It shut down when Lorraine died.
Well, so what happened to all of the artifacts inside of there?
Who gives a shit, bro?
You
They're-
can't burn them.
Everyone gives a shit. A lot of people give shits. Probably not you because you don't want to think about it. But there are some people, they're just like, I wonder what happened.
I mean, you're right. They must have auctioned it off, and people who were horror junkies or
that's it.
into the occult probably spent top dollars for it. And then the fucking Warren family made even more money on this bullshit stuff that they've been pushing on us for years. They are problematic at best, completely fully liars at most.
I think what the video that I saw, they said, yes, at best, they are great
Questionable.
storytellers.
Yes.
At worst, they're con men, right?
They definitely made a bunch of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But
Whatever. They've helped a couple of people, a couple of families.
I've heard that The Conjuring 2 is essentially a superhero film.
I think you're projecting.
It's like a Catholic superhero film, where there's like, we've made Catholic Superman, and it's Ed
holy
Warren.
water. Holy water. Maybe that's the movie that you should watch.
They should make a Catholic superhero. I want to see Marvel do a Catholic hero. We never
The
get to see that.
Nun. The Nun.
The Nun?
I want to see like Pope Man. I want to see like a guy who
Pope
gets
Man?
bit by a radioactive pope and then gets powers. He can shoot like holy water out of his hands.
Isn't
And
Jesus technically like a superhero already?
Oh.
They depict him as a superhero in some stuff.
he's definitely a magician.
Yeah, like buff Jesus I've seen, I'm sure, in a lot of different illustrations.
There is a Rick and Morty episode where there's a buff Jesus and he's just like super yoked and it's
Yes.
like, whoa, look at his cum gun. It's like, oh,
Yes, I
don't
remember that
call him
episode.
that.
Yes. All right.
What do you rate this film?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 because I know
Yeah.
it's a good watch, but I know that there are scarier, better films in the franchise.
I was surprisingly pleased. I think a 3.5 is probably the best I could give it.
Still a good watch.
Yeah. Like I said, far better than I thought it was going to be. Would I have chosen to watch it on my own? Probably not. Will I watch the rest of the franchise?
Probably.
I don't think it's up to me, is it, Karen?
It's not at all.
No, that's cool. That's so cool. It's so hard to get Melissa to watch some horror movies. I think we're gonna watch Malignant tomorrow.
Oh.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
It ends up to be benign.
Pretty good?
So good.
Oh, okay,
it
good,
gets
good.
really fucking gory though.
Guys, it ends
It
up,
got
it
a lot
ends
more
up being
gory
benign.
than I thought.
Guys,
What?
malignant, benign.
Oh, that's. Okay.
I thought that was a really good joke. And
It's a
I
really
had
good
to-
joke. It's a really
I had
good
to make
joke.
sure people heard it.
Sorry. Say it 10 times.
Do you have a Best Person on Set award?
It's gonna. I'll give it to Annabelle Wallis because I think she was the best actress here. John, in comparison, was not as good. Decent for like a horror movie.
I feel like he didn't say or do much.
He would just show up and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Don't do
What?
that, babe.
No, I'm a doctor.
Babe, don't jump. I'm sorry, I was being a douche. Here's a doll."
I do like, especially coming off the heels of Fired Up, when he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a doctor," and he's like,
Exactly.
"Dr. Rick."
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
How about you?
my Best Person on Set award.
Someone behind the camera, huh?
No, it's either the baby. I really like the actress who played the baby, Leah. But Annabelle Wallis, she has the most lines out of everybody. She's doing the most scared acting out of anybody. She really serves it up on a silver platter for us. So
Even though I didn't like her screams like toward the end, did you like her screams? Because her screams are just like that's
the only thing I like.
least believable.
I don't know. She annoyed me in the film.
Really, throughout?
Yeah.
Why?
I think that other people in the Conjuring movies are better than her. So
Okay, no, that's especially with someone like the guy that plays Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren.
Yes.
I
Well,
think
and the
they're very strong
kids.
actors.
the kids do such a good job to play such these horrifying things, like especially when they become possessed, like that. They do such better acting than like her just screaming.
Do you think about that? Like how kids in horror films, understanding that it's acting, of course, but like what's the trauma behind it?
look
You
at
know?
Haley Joel Osment. He was never the same after Sixth Sense.
No, definitely not.
He's fat now.
I don't know what happened to the kid from The Shining, but I'm sure like after seeing
Suicide by Cop. No, I'm just kidding.
whoa, dude. Wild.
I just want to say, I mentioned earlier that I was really thrown away by the producers. Number one, Walter Hamada, the guy who's in charge of the DCEU and Warner Brothers. He's, of course, a producer on this film. James Wan, the guy who did The Conjuring, is also in charge of Aquaman 2. He's going to be making that movie. And then also, Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin was a producer on this film. That's right, guys. Donald Trump literally only picked his friends from Hollywood, even in the cabinet. Steve Mnuchin helped pay for this movie because that's what makes you qualified to run the country.
Money.
That's what Trump said.
Money.
Money. And then Steve Mnuchin was like, somebody say my name? He's like Beetlejuice.
Money.
Steve Mnuchin. You should look at a picture of Steve Mnuchin. He looks like an asshole.
There's a lot of people that look like assholes that are actually assholes. So
That's Steve
remember
Mnuchin
that,
for you.
baddies.
Yeah.
You gonna watch Candyman? I think produced by Jordan Peele. I don't know. I think right now is a good time. Let's talk about like what we probably want to watch for the rest of October. Karen, I'm assuming that you're probably gonna sit in for the horror movie talks.
Yes, I will. I think you guys should do the Babadook.
Babadook's a really good one.
I know it's like really highly
Yes,
rated.
and I do want to say this. Because I am such a new friend of horror films, I think, and because we're doing actual horror films this year instead of like the jokey, silly ones that we've done in the past,
Yeah.
what if we do good horror films? Because I'm you know what I
Like the
mean?
Babadook.
Kinda down. Kinda down.
Because I feel like if we do really like just the bad ones, then of course I'm still gonna always hate horror films and think that they're always bad.
Okay,
but
cool.
it's one thing to watch
Yeah.
like Leprechaun and knowing what I'm watching,
Of course.
and it's another thing to watch, Annabelle or The Conjuring or Baba
Babadook.
the Babadook.
We have Bob Ganoush.
Baba Bob Ross,
Bob Boucher.
Bobby Boucher.
There's 3 more movies that we have left in the month of October to watch, so we have to be very choosy with these if we're going to do some good ones. I'm actually very fond of this idea of doing It Can Be That Good
Yeah.
for the rest of the month of October.
But they're all because
Hereditary.
They're all good.
I want to do Hereditary.
Yes, it's
Hereditary.
so fucking good.
It Follows is a really good one.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Watch It Follows. Watch it tonight if you have time. Watch it tonight. It might
Do
be
you see
streamable
him?
on Netflix.
Do you see him?
we already have a movie set up for
It
tonight.
Follows fucked me up. And then also The Witch. Have you seen The Witch?
I haven't seen The Witch.
That one's really good. It has the
I
girl
haven't seen The
from
Witch.
Queen's Gambit.
I wouldn't mind Anna Taylor-Joy. I wouldn't
Yes.
mind watching Hereditary.
Hereditary.
I
is
wouldn't
great.
mind watching The Conjuring 2.
No,
Watch the first one,
he
Content.
watched the end of the first one.
and it fucked you up.
No, well, I mean, I only caught the end of it. It's like watching the end of a James Bond film. You don't know what's happening. Just watching like a guy
The
get cut in
Nun
half
is
with a laser.
really good.
I want to watch The Nun.
The Nun is really good.
I heard that movie. You know what it scored? None.
yeah.
That's why I love you.
Love you too.
Oh, and this Sinister is really good,
Sinister's good.
and
yeah.
Sinister 2 is also pretty good. Not as good as the first, but
Can we end the last week of October with like a semi? Like, can we do scary movie?
no.
No,
I kind of want to
so
do.
bad.
I want to do
like the
good
scariest
scary films.
one, like
Dude.
Babadook.
You can survive 3 more horror films, and we're gonna go
Oh.
straight into November, which is I don't know whatever the fuck, and then Christmas movies.
I had a good palate cleanser for November 1st. What did we talk about it? Or was I talking to somebody else?
I
about
told you November 1st. No more horror movies for at least 2 months.
Oh, nice.
Could we
That's good.
do Hunt for Red October? Huh?
with Jake Gyllenhaal? Wait,
No. That's October
Sky.
Sky. Hunt for Red October is Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery
sure,
in the submarine.
if you want to.
It's not scary at all. But
Okay.
I'll tell you what is scary.
What?
Sean Connery's Russian accent.
Sure, we could do that as a palate cleanser if you want.
I love
All right.
Jack Reacher. All right, baddies. I've been Alejandro.
And I've been Christian.
Over there, that's been Karen. You can always follow me at call_me Jesus.
Follow me at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow the podcast at ICBTB Podcast. And check out our new splattered shirts, guys. We got a nice purple color. And then we're going to get a fun, like, leather aluminum foil style shirt. But it's going to be made out of actual aluminum foil. So don't get in the microwave, kids.
Yeah.
And then also next week, you are performing at Zany's Butt Plugs doing the testing of the flavors. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's I agreed to it. It's $5,000 an anal bead.
Yeah.
And
In anal beads.
yeah, $5,000 and anal bead.
And an anal bead.
Baddies, like always,
hi.
like, subscribe, follow, help us with those algorithms, cause we trying to make money off this.
Yeah, and maybe go to church if this thing's real. I mean, maybe the Babadook is going to kill you or something.
Yeah,